Flat jeans, statement platform boots, fitted tops, and abundance of accessories. This was one of the looks of the New York girls in the 70s. In search of freedom, fashion in the 70s was a reflection of what happens in music, society, and politics. The world was changing, so the clothes exuded this. Pants with wide hems, fluid blouses, and heels as if to say, I'm seeing everything from above. And up front there is freedom. The look on the streets was completely extravagant and bohemian. In contrast, the girl on the record wore a lot of lurex and glitter to have her perfect night of dancing. Today, we'll see how the New York girl dressed over the years, from the flapper girl to the Lower East Side girl. Shall we? Well, we know that New York is a busy city. It is not in vain that the city is known for not sleeping. The city girl style has always been the type that rushes from appointment to appointment and never loses her love for fashion. The flowing straight dresses of the 20s and the clinched waists of the 30s, the square shoulders of the 40s and the pencil skirts of the 50s, and the prints and the midi skirts of the 60s. Although fashion was almost the same all over the world, New York has always had a tone of relaxation that no one can match. Going back hundreds of years, the city has been taken over by the flapper look. Bobbied hair, long pearl necklaces, flowing and straight dresses, blazers, cloche hats were a part of the look of the dancing girls of the 20s, and the street fashion was not so different from what happened at parties. To the sound of Charleston, the girls danced in silk dresses in the versions that were brighter and more extravagant than their everyday ones. The flapper girl's statement piece was Mary Jane's shoes. They are in every look, whether on the asphalt or on stage. The only rule was fluidity. Moving on to the 1930s, New Yorkers were full of glamour. Despite the Great Depression, it was the time when women gained more presence in society, so they needed to be ready and comfortable. The girls at the time wore shorter dresses, shoulder pads, and more open corsets. The floor was the print at the moment. At that time, the skin was more exposed and the makeup was chic, rather than the flapper girl look. And although hats were still popular for women, they were gradually disappearing. Moving on to the 1940s, the Second World War affected fabric production and fabric rationing affected the worlds of fashion. As a result, clothes were simpler. So, on the streets, girls wore skirts below the knees and blazers. As a statement piece at the time, the dresses had V-neck line and the shoes were thicker and shorter, with few details made of velvet or leather as in quiet luxury aesthetics, always with great quality. Moving on into the 1950s, fashion was slow, and the style of the late 1940s was still there. Do you know? Extravagant shoulders, clinched waists, and full skirts. As the years went by, the New York girl of the 1930s wore skirts, blazers, and dresses in plain fabrics or floral prints. They were paired with shorter hair or in ponytails at the back. In the 1960s, some girls opted for the feminine elegance of previous decades, the Jacqueline Kennedy style. Others chose the colorful pieces of swinging London. Others chose the space age look and some hippie handcrafted pieces. It was the first time in decades in which women's wardrobe had options. They didn't have to be just one. For those who opt for the swinging style, the streets were full of straight dresses and extravagant earrings in orange, green, beige, and earthly tones. The prints were also there, floral, stripes, and the most famous colorful polka dots. The Dolly girl was the golden girl. At the same time, girls started to wear the Mary Quant style and chose short skirts for almost all their looks, always combined with tights. The space age influence of Courage and Ray-Ban also dominated. And the favorite look was the midi skirt, go-go boots, and turtlenecks. The single girl was there, wearing cotton blouses, long pants, and a trench coat. Following the styles of the 70s, the hippie style was totally dominated by the streets. At the beginning of the decade, the hippie girl wore printed clothes, handmade by herself, or from a store near her home. The crochet was in tops, dresses, and gowns. At the same time, a more polished look appeared in luxurious knit, Sonia Raquel and Michonne. At the same time, Diane von Furstenberg presented her dresses and Levi wore everyone's favorite jeans. The nostalgia in fashion was the theme. Yves Saint Laurent was inspired by the 40s, but they still sought freedom with collections that shocked fashion. On the streets, there was simplicity and nostalgia, while on the dance floor, disco girls didn't hold back. They loved spandex, halter tops, long pants, pleated midi dresses, and platforms. Embraced comfort and extravagance of Halston and Stephen Burrows. They were the kings of disco and were responsible for tighter dresses and more open pants. And also, Norman Norell attracted women with his stretchy sequins dresses. It was all about sparkles, platform heels, and loose hair. Moving into the 80s, Anne Klein's corporate look was everywhere. The women were entering the offices. Traditional office wear predominated. Like Siren, she had polyester suits with shoulder pads and midi skirts. On the other hand, some chose the look Yuppie Girl by Ralph Lauren, the schoolgirl look with the tone of Southwestern codes, and the English look. Around the same time, Lycra sportswear fabric invaded closets. Fitness one was too comfortable, and it was impossible not to get lost in the thousands of colors available in the boutiques. The Jane Fonda style was loved by everyone. On the streets of New York, Norma Kamali's look, along with elegant sportswear and the soft new romantic style adopted by Cyndi Lauper and Madonna, all the girls dressed colorfully. Moving into the 90s, the streets were taken over by grunge plaid shirts, waist-length jeans, converse, and shirts. It was a cool look, but not too polished for the supermodel look that came later. When Naomi, Kate, and Linda came along, no one had seen such elegance and spontaneity. On the streets, silk dresses, white t-shirts, jeans, shoulder bags, black tops, heel boots, and sometimes Converse sneakers. Moving on to the 2000s, the girls wore low-waisted jeans, tops, shoulder bags with monograms, short-to-heel sandals or flip-flops. And the favorite piece was jeans. They invaded every occasion. On the streets, True Religion miniskirts, Ugg boots, 7 for All Mankind jeans, Von Dutch hats, shoulder bags for busy days, Balenciaga city bags. And for those who were closer to fashion in the mid-2000s, the boho chic look worked very well, with more than handcrafted and secondhand pieces. Moving on to the 2010s, Phoebe Philo's minimalist style took over the streets with few colors, jeans, and quality bags. In contrast, the female look was the platoon blouse and floral dresses. In any case, the minimalist girl was elegant and on point, never making a mistake, with a look that worked for any occasion. The normcore was increasingly strong, and it took a while for the Virgil street style to gain its space, with more casual and less feminine looks. Olsen twins and Alexa Chung with big bags, short motorcycle boots, mini skirts, leather jackets, and chipped nails, like a boho woman from the 70s. In contrast, the uptown girl dressed in looks like Charlotte York from Sex and the City and Blair from Gossip Girl. Trench coats, tailored skirts, silk blouses, pearls, and ballet flats. A more polished look than any other New Yorker aesthetic. Today, in the Lower East Side style, the girl wears her white maxi skirts, country boots, and baby tees, as if everything were coming out of a thrift store. In fact, they are the right place for those who want to get into the aesthetic. Even celebrities are getting into it. Jenny Kim adopted this look with Adidas Samba, socks, and 90s blazer with glasses when she visited New York, all with the vintage touch. The Lower East Side girl has her favorite stores in addition to secondhand stores. Brandy Melville has almost all the options for the vintage aesthetic. Maxi skirts, baby tees, with prints and boho bags. Reformation, on the other hand, has denim skirts and tops with an old-school aesthetic made proportionally for those who cling to nostalgia. In addition to the Lower East Side girl, the New York City girl aesthetic brings a more comfortable look, in the line with New York City busy life. For her, the dark wash high-waisted jeans, cardigan, and white shirt, a leather belt, and Adidas Samba or Gazelles. To replicate this aesthetic, look for a good white t-shirt at COS, Levi for good quality high-waisted jeans, especially the 501s, and Adidas or Onitsuka's Tiger to complete a modern retro look. Moving on to the streets, you can also find the current downtown girl, a mix of 90s grunge girl and 2000s. Unlike the previous version, she loves to be comfortable and wear earthly cardigans, striped sweaters, tote bags, sneakers, boots, and stylish jeans. A more modern vintage tone, the perfect balance between old and new. The look any modern fashion girl loves. So these are the versions of the New York girl throughout the years, from the flapper girl with her fluid and straight dresses, to the NYC girl with waist jeans and Adidas sneakers. Despite the changes over the years, they all have something in common: the fashionista and cool style of the city. Who is your favorite girl? Comment below. I admit I love the Lower East Side girl with her maxi skirts and headphones. As we bid farewell, we invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay stylish, stay chic. XOXO, House of Vanity.